the hell's diversity?
That's right. LA, Los Angeles.
You want to do the man dance? First dance is yours.
Nice boy, but doesn't listen to a word you say.
Not smart. Not like everybody says.
What in God's holy name are you blathering about?
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy!
That's the music. We love our intro music. This is Toke In LA. I'm Tony Garcia. That over there is
Bobby Kesselman,
otherwise known as Boki. I'm Toga. Together we're Toke, and we are in LA, and we are doing the fourth installment of a podcast we're pretty proud of, and we've created ourselves. We don't want to go mainstream radio. We don't like the rules in general in life, so we're going to do it our own way. What do you think about that, Bob?
I freaking love it, man.
And I also love the fact that we haven't sat down and recorded in about 3 months.
And it's felt like a week. It's felt like a week.
It really has. It's flown by. So our last episode was our awesome and pretty proud of Thanksgiving episode.
Our most popular one yet.
We might have the only Thanksgiving live recording to happen last year. But
to be promoted and produced this year.
There are no stats to back that up. We're just going to run with it. So a lot has happened. New Year's came and went. I generally don't do much. How was your New Year's? Did you do anything?
Yeah, I went to Palm Springs.
Wow.
And, with a couple of friends. Yeah, it was out of nowhere.
Here we go. Do tell.
It was my buddy rented a house, he and his fiance. And then here's the thing, pretty much typical me.
Okay.
It's been basically my whole life.
Delusional liberal?
No, that was only from...
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
All my friends are couples.
Okay.
Like, now my buddy,
I hate that.
like one of my last real single buddies, he's engaged.
He's been taken.
So once he got engaged, our other mutual friend, he found a girl, and now they're like, they were great. They were awesome, but they were the annoying new couple in love couple.
Yeah.
And that was like 3 days. And then there were a couple other couples, one couple that was married for like 5 years. So they didn't really care too much for each other, but they still enjoyed each other.
Are you saying that your circle of friends is now basically a bunch of couples and you? So you're always the,
hey, let's have Bobby over.
You're
he
the
probably
prime
doesn't
number.
get to eat.
You're the prime number in every group. You're the third wheel, fifth wheel, seventh wheel.
Right.
Fill in the blank.
I like to consider myself the steering wheel.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, I'll drive the car. You guys have a good ride.
Well, everyone makes out in the back seat.
Yeah.
And you're hoping to find someone to make out with at some point during the night?
During the night. During my life.
On the drive? You've actually done
At
that
any
before.
point in time.
You found someone.
I did.
One of your best stories that you actually it's about finding someone.
My whole life
during
I
a
grew
drive.
up. My whole life I grew up reading Playboy, reading Penthouse, the Penthouse letters, never believe one. So my whole life I just wanted to be able to write a Penthouse letter.
True story. I've never read one.
Oh man,
I'm serious. I've never read one of the. Is it Penthouse Forum?
Yeah,
is that what they're called?
But they would also be letters at the beginning.
There's a whole Seinfeld episode about.
Yeah,
it. I know what they are. I've never personally read one myself.
Oh man,
go ahead.
So one night, I had actually come home from actually being lucky enough to hook up with this one chick. I had gotten a little kepi, which means fontanelle or head, from this other girl. Scammed her out of one in like the valley.
Scammed head out of a girl.
Yeah,
love it.
Yeah, like if
when is it ever not scamming?
I have no idea. I guess I always still have to make that the predecessor to the sentence.
That's fair.
Yeah, so I got lucky. On the other side of the hill, I'm driving back, and I was relaxed. I was just completely relaxed, smile, and I was driving my Porsche Boxster at the time. That car was dope. It was ocean blue.
That was a clean car.
And it was gorgeous.
Yeah.
It just broke down every 3 days. But
That is
girls don't know that.
I don't get it.
So I pull up to this light right by my house, and this girl pulls up next to me. And cute, kind of Israeli. I live in sort of in Heb neighborhood.
Love Israeli.
Yeah, dark hair and stuff, and she's kind of checking me out. So I just roll down the window. I'm like, hey, how are you? She's like, how are you? I'm like, hey, pull over. I live right around here. She's like, okay. So we drive around. I was like trying to get her back to the place, trying to scam her home for maybe a double header. Yes. Double header.
Yes.
According to new term.
I don't get it.
I don't really want to get too graphic because it's not that kind of show. But
you had a good night.
Yeah. So
that's funny, man.
It became like a lesson of no expectations.
Yeah.
Don't try. And here was the thing. We pull up to the subway, and as she's getting out of the car, I'm like, oh no, this is the part I totally like. This is the part you don't count on because I couldn't see her. She was in like a Jeep, and I'm in my little guy.
Oh, you don't know what she really looks like.
Yeah,
meaning.
like the
Okay.
face is okay.
Yeah, that's
face is
always-
okay.
Thrilling.
That's why
So-
internet dating never works.
Yeah. Oh man, you can always tell by the top of their arms. Arms give it all away.
It's a good call.
So she gets out of the car, and I'm like, bam! Oh yeah! I mean, like touchdown. The body is sensational. So I am just like high fiving myself. We get to the light. She has the worst teeth of any human being I've ever seen in my life. And she was like always laughing,
Did
but
it
trying
take
to
a
like.
certain like better light? Did you have to get in a better light to actually see the grill?
Oh yeah,
Because you couldn't see it before while she was talking.
because it was dark.
Yeah.
And it was dark.
Yeah. Another Seinfeld episode.
But the teeth
great.
were just like, holy mackerel! Like they don't have
And
toothbrushes in Israel.
obviously you went, goo. I'm fine with it.
Exactly. You don't do the mouth, man. Well, actually,
Any guy would. So
just don't have your standard set on high.
Which one do you like? Because we're going to stick to this. Well, I've always had a thing for blondes. Because I'll take anything.
exactly. So New Year's, you're in Palm Springs.
Yep. New 3-4 days. Brought the pooch. Love the pooch.
Oh, you took the dog.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It was rented house. House was dope, dude. New Year's was great with couples.
I have lost my fiancé, the poor baby.
Before we go any further in his Palm Springs story, Bob's dog is probably, 3-4 years old?
6.
6. Looks 15. Ratty.
That's I
What kind of dog is it?
Can't disagree. He's a Cairn Terrier, which is like he looks like if Toto had sex with Farrah Fawcett.
That's a perfect.
That's who
perfect.
Jasper would be.
And Farrah's dead. So
Yeah.
And Jasper, who is Bob's dog, looks like it could be on its last leg, but it should
what are you
have.
talking
it
about?
should
He
have.
does not.
Totally does. He walks around almost like it hurts. He always looks dirty and oily, even after you just bathed him.
Have I told you the story of this dog?
So basically, you inherited this dog from an old
Yes.
man who was dying on your street.
He wasn't dying on the street. He was on my street, and he was
Lived
dying.
on your street, and he was dying. Yes.
Yes.
And so now, old man's gone. Dog isn't, and dog is now yours.
Yes, but when the old man had him, the dog fell out of a car on Olympic.
Oh, this explains a lot.
Yeah.
This will probably be. This is why it limps around.
Yeah, well, that tore his ACL.
Who? What?
Jasper did.
Dog? What?
I know.
Dogs tear ACLs?
He was running. He's an incredible athlete.
How
But,
much did that exam set you back?
It wasn't me. This is before I got him.
Oh, okay.
Thank God. And then, the street cleaners?
Yes.
He caught one.
Chasing it?
Chasing it. He hates them. He
Yeah,
goes
I'm
absolutely
sure.
insane when they come by.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So one was going down the street. The old man wasn't paying attention. He got out, bit the SOS, that huge SOS pad that like goes around.
That's so wet.
Right? I don't know how else to explain it.
I know what you're talking
The
about.
broom part.
Yeah.
He caught it and went through the back. It rotates like a circle,
oh
and he
my
went
God.
through the back and got thrown out.
That is hilarious.
So the little guy, if he were a cat, would have 6 lives left.
Dude, I didn't know any
But
of
he's a
this.
warrior, dude. He's
No,
a
I like your
freaking
dog
warrior.
more now.
And
Your dog's a
he
trooper.
has chronic bad skin and a chronic cough.
Yeah.
So
Well, I know those two things. It's always itching, and it's
Yeah.
always making these noises that show up in the back of our
Like,
podcast
I'm telling
that
you,
I
he
can't.
sounds like me when he wakes up. So you may hear him inadvertently.
Listen, put him out of his misery, man. Palm Springs is great. The age there goes from like 0 to 16, then jumps to about 52 to death. There's no in between over there. No one in the in between ages
Yeah.
lives down there.
Here's the thing that absolutely shocked me. Really gay now.
Being gay is the new coolest thing.
Oh, I heard that.
Like,
Yeah, I heard
like,
that.
Huh?
Yeah, another.
It's-
It's become this kind of little getaway out in the desert.
Gateway. I
That's
think
fine.
it's called.
It's just funny the difference between the gay women and the gay men. Like, you can go to any bar, and you give 2 chicks enough drinks, which is anywhere between a half a drink and 3, they'll start making out with each other. That will never happen to 2 heterosexual
Right.
guys. Like, I don't care if you have them. If you have 2 guys and they are just bombed in the
Right.
spirit world,
Fuck,
couldn't
man.
even tell you their names or where they're at or where they're from. No 2 heterosexual guys are just gonna start making out. strictly for the enjoyment of everyone. Oh, look at all. Hey, what? Look, everybody, look. We're gonna make out. Blah 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 blah. It's not
Tony.
gonna happen.
Hey, Tone, man. First of all, I'm smashed. Second of all,
Me too.
let's totally make out and like make everybody take pictures and
Why
cheers
should
on.
we do that? Why?
Yeah, I don't think
So,
I've
it's
ever
weird.
been at a party where I've even ever seen that.
It's weird. So anyway,
Hey, real quick side note on that. The other thing is, how come like me and you don't have a lesbian friend the way every single girl has a gay friend?
we do.
Like, how come me and you don't go out with like Mary, who wants to be called Mike,
Yeah.
and she likes sports and drinking and stuff like how come we are not simpatico, like sharing secrets,
would-
like friends?
If that were a thing, if straight dudes hung out with like one lesbian chick, if every group of straight guys had a lesbian chick that palled around, she'd have to be hideous.
Right, that's
Because
but yeah,
if she was anything remotely attractive to hot,
she can't go out with those guys.
even though you know she's not into what we bring to the table, it doesn't matter. Like, you'd still be trying.
Right,
and
right.
the whole dynamic of the whole group
But then
of friends
here's
would
the
be thrown
thing.
out the window.
Here's the thing. Drink and a half. You get her doing guy stuff.
Oh, does it work
Guys.
the opposite?
We gotta test it.
So half a drink to 3 turns straight girls into lesbians. Yeah. Half a drink to, well, it might take a little bit more for
Yeah.
the lesbian.
Couple drinks.
So we'll say 3 to
3,
12.
yeah.
Does it turn the lesbian into a straight girl?
I just got an email from Glad, and they're saying
We need to
leaving
shut this
it-
down.
Yeah, we're leaving this as much too simplistic a view of homosexuality.
Well, we didn't consult their guidelines.
yeah,
their
and
media
we're being
guidelines.
bullies.
Yeah.
We're being bullies.
That's a
What else happened? We had the Super Bowl.
Super Bowl.
Super Bowl just passed.
First of all, we had an incredible playoffs.
I think it was for the first time ever. We were going into the week 17, which is
Right.
the last week of the season, for all of you who don't know, without anybody clinching their division.
Right.
Not one single division was wrapped up going into the last week of the season.
Except for Denver.
Now,
no, Denver and the Chiefs.
No, people had locked up playoff spots.
Right.
But no one had locked up their division
Oh, man,
going
I
into
didn't
the
know that.
last week of the season. It's good. It's really cool if you're an NFL fan.
Yeah, it was incredible.
It's nerve-wracking if you're one of those rabid people who follow their teams.
How about Charger and Steeler fans to the last second?
The Chargers had this.
second.
The Chargers had this scenario. There was this scenario that involved the Chargers, the Steelers, the Ravens,
Yep.
and maybe one other team. Oh, it was the Dolphins.
That doesn't make sense.
Right.
It was the
Right, 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 right.
Dolphins were the 4th team in that
Right.
mix. So all 3 teams lost, and the Chargers won like 5 or 6 in a row to close the season out and get into the playoffs. It was unbelievable.
And how they got into the playoffs. Wasn't it on like the
blown,
field goal?
a blown field goal by the Steelers. Did you see the YouTube video of that Steelers fan?
Yeah.
We'll play it for you right now. Actually, I think we can find it. Here we go.
I don't want to go no overtime. Come on, baby. Let me kick it with you. Let me kick it with him. Here we go.
Oh, see, I don't want it.
Woo-hoo-hoo. Here we go. Here we go.
Miss it. Boy,
Here we go.
if he missed this.
Playoffs. Playoffs. Come on, baby. Playoffs. Come on. And it is good. Oh,
He missed
shoot.
it. Oh!
So that is a video of the guy. How fucking funny is that?
Yeah.
He's doing. My favorite part is he's doing the leg kick
the woogie.
himself. He's doing the leg kick. He's like, here we go. So the Chargers squeaked in. It came down to the Seahawks and the Broncos for Super Bowl 48. But so we had a second time organization in the Seahawks, very green to the occasion. And on the other side, we had Peyton Manning, who's a shoe-in Hall of Famer, whose offense, and he broke all kinds of records this year.
Possibly the greatest regular season quarterback in the history of the NFL.
Yes. Arguably one of the greatest. And so we had these 2 teams in the Super Bowl this year. In New York, everyone picked the Broncos. I think I told at least 5 or 6 people who are degenerate gamblers that I know.
Right.
Load up on the Broncos.
I've never seen a play in any professional sport dictate the rest of the game. And then they didn't have the ball for 5 minutes.
What play are you talking
The
about?
first play of the game, the first offensive play for the Broncos.
Oh, the safety. Yeah.
That was it. That was the game. Right there. That was the game.
Yeah. When it comes to a championship, it doesn't matter what sport. They're going to be 2 pretty good teams. So the essential thing, like the one thing every team is going to harp on leading up to that game is we got to strike first. Striking first in anything always gives you a leg up. If not for the score, just for sheer confidence.
Right.
You want to get that first one out of the way and build some momentum.
Right.
And to start out with a muff snap like that, and for it to just go in the end zone,
mind-numbing.
2 points, you can just see it's a little deflating.
Then they didn't get the ball back for 5 more minutes.
Yeah. It started with all this anticipation, the league's best defense versus the league's best offense.
The immovable
and
force, the
it
unstoppable
quickly
object.
became borderline hard to watch, man.
But the other thing, too, I have never, ever heard a crowd like that in a neutral site. Ever.
Yes.
They were. Yeah. I've never heard a crowd like, "We'll kill you, Denver," in New York that wasn't playing against the Giants or the Jets.
Yeah, it was great. It was great.
A
lot of smack talk leading up to the game with Richard Sherman and Crabtree. Marshawn Lynch refused to talk to anyone during all Super Bowl week, which was fantastic.
God bless him.
Because there's nothing like watching media squirm when they can't get a soundbite out of something, especially when that person is a marquee player.
You ain't need to hear me talk. That's how smart he is.
Well, I mean,
all they're gonna do is ridicule him and put him on SportsCenter.
Yeah.
Look what he said.
Yeah.
Ha 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 ha.
He had a great about this. I think the second or third day of the whole media blitz that is Super Bowl week leading up to the game. He had a great quote that isn't anything resembling proper English, but what he meant was perfect.
Right.
And he basically looked at a reporter who just asked him, why do you have such a problem fulfilling your media obligations? And he said, my fans back home have my back, and you guys claim to be the bridge between us and the fans, and if the fans don't care, why there need to be a bridge built? You know what I mean?
Totally.
And if you decode that and have some captions at the bottom of the screen, it makes perfect sense.
Beyond
and
perfect.
I promise you, anyone who was within earshot of him saying that in that media room had to do a double take and just second guess their whole choice of profession because he just summed it up perfectly.
Right.
So what if he gets uncomfortable when you put a mic in his face? That's not his job.
Exactly.
He doesn't have to give you the soundbite he wants. Nowhere in the paperwork does it say he has to give you a noteworthy, runnable quote or a soundbite.
Or has to answer.
He just has to be there available for you.
He doesn't have to answer the questions the way you want him to answer.
No one complains about Colin Kaepernick.
Right. The other, this is Derek Jeter today announced this is his last season, which I find awesome. Yeah, this is it. And I find it great because it's
end of an era.
And A-Rod's not playing this year. This is why I love Jeter. Derek Jeter knew every cliche, how to answer every question.
He was well coached. I've always said this. I say it to guys.
Respect.
I say it to guys all the time. If you want to know how life is supposed to be lived, on the athlete side, look at Derek Jeter.
Yep.
On the celebrity side, you look at Clooney. And I'm not even the biggest Clooney fan. I think half the time he opens his mouth, he should shut it very quickly. But just look at the way both those guys live their lives.
Right.
And I'm not sure what's Clooney's situation right now. Is he married or is he still? Yeah.
He was married once. He was married once in like his mid-20s and was like, oh wow, I don't need this.
To hell with this. So Jeter has somehow managed over like a 15 to 20 year baseball career.
No kids that I can.
Hasn't knocked anyone up
that
he knows of. Has managed to date the creme de la creme as we hold up these models and actresses just one after another.
Right. And imagine all the girls he was flying over from Europe.
No one's pissed at him. You don't see any like accusations of abuse or he treated me wrong. There's nothing.
Right.
He's stayed out of every tabloid in New York City.
For 17, 18, 20 years.
It's incredible.
Yeah, I agree.
And Clooney on the flip side, he's dated top shelf his whole career, made unbelievable movies, won awards.
Right.
Every guy loves him. Every woman, of course, loves him. He's older now, still looking good. Like, these guys have managed to they figured it out.
Yeah.
I mean, look at all the celebrities now just going off the reservation. It's every day a new thing.
Right.
Now that skinny little singer Bieber kid is is completely out of his mind.
Do you believe the story about Blake Griffin bitch slapped him at Starbucks?
Didn't even know that story.
So supposedly he walked in without a shirt, and I don't, there's
who walked in to where without a shirt?
Bieber walks into Bieber walks into a Starbucks in West Hollywood.
Shirtless. Okay.
Shirtless. And he wanted a blah, blah, blah macchiato. So supposedly, the guy was like, you can't come in here without a shirt. He went ballistic. And Blake Griffin was in there, stood up and was like, yo, knock it off. And then he said some smack.
He probably popped off to Blake.
And Blake supposedly open amp smacked him in the face.
I hadn't heard that story, but I
it could
hope
be
to God
a total
it's true.
fake. Same here.
I hope to God it's
Right.
true. Really,
What a
I do.
heavenly treat.
Getting back on to the Super Bowl, the Seahawks absolutely destroyed the Broncos. It was pretty much over by halftime.
Yeah, no, and I got to say, my heart was with the Broncos, my head was with the Seahawks.
So we're recording today. We've got a lot to talk about. It is we can basically dub this our Valentine's Day episode, with it being this week.
Tell me more about my eyes.
And I don't know if you have any great Valentine stories that come to mind.
Not one.
I don't have a single one either. And will you be doing anything for it?
Eating alone
Eating alone.
in the dark.
So just a normal day for you.
Yeah,
But
there'll be more food.
more food to drown your sorrows.
Oh.
Let me ask you this though: do you wish you were doing something for it with somebody?
Yeah, you know what? I'm not against it so much because I think it's like a nice thing. I think it's funny. Same thing with Mother's Day. Same thing with Father's Day. I love that we have to be reminded to buy flowers for your lady or buy something.
Yeah.
Buy something.
Yeah.
Buy something for her.
No,
Remember, guys.
you've nailed it. I think.
She loves you for some unknown reason.
Really, really dumb
Just
reason.
one night. And I love even more how guys hate it.
Well, that's the thing. I think you've nailed it on the head. And what you touched on is, I promise you, no matter how big into Valentine's Day your girl was when you met her,
Right.
if you treated her like, a queen or however girls think they should be treated, throughout the year, they really wouldn't make that big a deal out of Valentine's Day. If you're the typical, you have to be reminded to open doors. You have to be reminded to pay for dinner. You have to be reminded to pull out chairs. Valentine's Day is a big deal because that's going to be their one day where you actually treat them like a lady.
Right.
And no matter what women say, let me go on the record saying this, no matter what women say about them wanting to be independent and handling themselves and being able to take care of everything on their own and not needing a man.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
Every woman down deep likes to be treated like a lady by their man. Down deep.
I'm not like that. I like that. I'm like my own lady. And, like, if I'm going to open the door, I'm going to open it for both of us. Like, it's not like that big a deal. Okay, I'm lying. I need it.
Yes. Anybody, you come home every day and you see them having a good time and enjoying themselves, you get mad. Don't matter if it's the guy and the girl or the girl and the guy.
If one's working and the other one isn't, that means the one who's working is paying for everything. Whether it's temporary or not, the person who's got a lot of free time needs to fill that gap with something. Pull a mop out, pull a vacuum out, wipe down a counter, and you know what? Even if you can't cook, I can't cook for shit. But I'm gonna get a bowl of cereal. Like you'll
be ready to go when you get in the door.
Something will be waiting. There's no way I would make you work all day and make your own meal. Everyone would like to be taken care of, but I mean, there's just an abuse there if you're totally taking advantage of the situation and someone's paying for you and cooking for you and basically being a parent to you.
Right. No, I agree with you, but the majority of it is you treat me like I think my mom would treat me.
No, I would never.
You have to remove yourself from this scenario.
That thought, treat me as my mom treated me, yes.
And that a girl wants to be treated the way her daddy would treat her.
Yes.
People have expectations. And
the guy will hearken back to his relationship with his mother because, and when it comes to unconditional love, it's really the only true one a guy has in his life. And then vice versa, the girl will hearken back to how daddy treated her.
Right.
Hopefully daddy was around. So, but yeah, in my case, that doesn't apply, but I can see how that works. My whole philosophy in relationships, we'll end this whole conversation on this, has been always, I will treat you how I want you to treat me.
Right.
It's the golden rule.
Totally agree.
You're taught it when you're 4, but I think it never applies more than when you're an adult in a relationship. For example, I don't fart around my girlfriend. Right. Or any girlfriend I've ever had. It's not that I'm embarrassed.
Right.
Passing gas is a part of life.
Right.
You've heard me.
Oh, yeah. We've celebrated our farts.
I mean, and they will always be funny.
Right.
When Jesus Christ was on the earth and he let one go, I guarantee you the apostles fell over laughing.
I guarantee you when he was on the cross and people were like...
All right, you're getting...
Wait,
you're
wait.
getting
This is a great scenario. Jesus on the cross, he's dying, and like all his followers are there, and he just goes...
That's the worst example I've ever heard. That's horrible.
I completely disagree. I think
Are
if
you
you
kidding?
open it up to the world of crucifixion, a fart still
You're
works.
talking about who Christians deem the savior of the world with nails in each hand and through both feet.
I'm saying in the middle
he's
of
losing his life. And he happens to pass gas. Everyone around him's going to start laughing.
Absolutely.
Are you nuts, dude? You're in timeout for like the next 30 seconds. No, it's I don't fart around girlfriends. It's not that I'm embarrassed. It's because I don't want to open a door to them and make it seem to them that it's okay to fart around me.
Right.
Because nothing is more unattractive to me.
Yeah.
And I know it happens. I just don't ever want to hear it. I would like to remain attracted to whoever I'm dating. So I won't fart around them because I don't want to open that door for them to fart around me.
Gotcha.
That's my case. That's
because I'm the same way. I'm the same way, but
treated.
my reasoning is it's still bad manners to me.
It is bad.
That's
There's a little bit of that
insanity
too.
of that for me is I'll be in the middle of telling a horrible joke about mentally handicapped people, laughing in my head hysterically and be like, ooh, better not fart in front of her.
Yeah, I mean, if I burped at the table growing up, I got a backhand on my mom. So,
right.
Yeah, there is a manners thing. But ultimately, it's just the golden rule for me. Bottom line is neither of us have a good Valentine's Day story.
I've only gotten laid once on Valentine's Day.
Well, yeah, it's not that big of a deal, bottom line, and we're not doing any this year, so let's move on.
I was alone.
I think it's good time as any to do a little Token Sports.
Oh,
Token Sports. Let's cover.
I can't wait for this.
Let's go briefly see what's happening in the world of sports with our very, very own Vin Scully.
Well, I'll tell you, it's great to be back here. Tony Garcia and Bobo Kesselmano. Been very good. Been keeping busy over at Marina Del Rey. Checking up on the NBA. And if you look closely, you'll see the Lakers are at the bottom of the list.
They are.
Oh boy, the kids of Los Angeles are waiting for April. Because June's not going to include LA in the finals.
Yeah, they stink.
Who it might include are the Indiana Pacers. Boy, they're leading the West, and they're gonna lead them back to victory. Much the same way I used to lead the girls back to my lair and give them the old highball.
What? Vin!
What?
We're doing sports here, man.
Oh, every sports.
A little decorum. A little
sports
decorum.
analogy should
With all due
involve
respect, Vin. With all due respect, let's focus on the scores here.
It's my fault. Sometimes I like to brag and boast about
I'm
the
all about
times
bragging.
I
I'm
was
all about
the
bragging.
most. The NHL, the Blackhawks, and the Blues tied it up with a lot of points, but they're not gonna be looking down too hard as the LA Kings are holding strong. College hoops. Syracuse is gonna be playing Pitt. By the time you hear this, they'll have played, but it'll been a great game. The one thing you gotta remember is Bobby's alma mater, the DePaul Blue Demons out of Chicago, Illinois.
Blue Demons.
They are pretty terrible, as they have been probably the worst team in the Big East, going 2-9 in the conference.
Bob, did you go to any basketball games we had to Paul?
No.
No?
Like,
They were bad then, too?
Not only that, they had where they played basketball, the
Yeah.
arena, might have been 45 minutes away from campus.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, it was in Rosemont. We were in Chicago.
Oh, yeah.
Great idea.
No chance.
That didn't matter. Weren't worth going to see anyway.
Yeah. All right, let's let Vin finish
Oh
sports.
boy, let me tell you about a little something we like to call the Pepperdine Waves.
We're not doing... This is a waste of time.
It is somewhat as they're 7-6 in the WCC. They're 14-11, holding strong with former good coach Paul Westphal, who's not that good anymore, which is why, strangely enough, he's coaching at Pepperdine. The Sochi Winter Olympics have started, and the first casualty was Bob Costas' eye.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, that's probably the most disgusting thing I think I've ever seen on television.
Yeah, they had to send him home.
Yeah, and they forced him on TV.
Yeah, hey, Matt Lauer, hop on a plane. You're replacing Bob Costas, who has pink eye.
Are you a hater of Bob Costas?
No.
See, this is like, I can't be happier.
Oh, really?
He's like, to me, the Kobe of broadcasters.
I mean, I think he's a tiny little twerp, and he's the king of the nerds when it comes to sports.
I know everything.
When it comes to the media, yeah.
I can tell you anything that
No,
happened
he's
from 1813.
He's good. He can spin a yarn, and I like listening to him. You hate his guts?
He's a pompous little
I can see
pink-eyed
that. I can
twerp.
see that.
The thing with Costas was he did all the Bulls games when they were in the finals, and you could tell he hated the Bulls and he hated Jordan.
Oh, really?
He hated Jordan, and he just was.
Wait, he was their hometown announcer, though?
No, he was the national announcer for NBC.
Got it.
So anytime it was on NBC, you had to hear him.
So you mean like postseason type stuff?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The most important time to watch national sports.
Yeah. Well, anything else in sports, Vin?
No, that's pretty much it.
Pretty much it for sports.
I'm just teasing. God's game is making its way back to our hearts and our minds.
And by
as it's
God's
coming
game,
up.
you mean?
I didn't know I had to say it. Baseball.
Thank
The
you.
game
I just
that
wanted to hear you say it.
Abner Doubleday invented so many years ago in his backyard with his kids.
History with Vin Scully.
So one of the things you gotta look for, we got the Dodgers back in spring training, the pitchers and the catchers reporting. And the one thing to know is Clayton Kershaw is bringing with him hefty contract expectations. A huge contract signed for a lot of years and a lot of coin. But thankfully, Jesus is gonna get a part of it. Because Clayton is one of those guys who worships God. Much like I used to hear when I was banging the broads real hard, they used to evoke his name.
Vin!
What?
Vin, we're doing sports here.
Yeah, it's all sports.
We can go over your laundry list of old dames back in the day later.
Oh, let me tell you a little story about the late Shirley Temp.
On the good ship, loaded pop.
When she was 19, she used to do the doo-dah on my dee-dee.
Jesus, Vin, that's an odd story. It didn't even really make sense.
Right, Bob?
Yeah.
I
it's a
like
weird
it, though.
guy.
I like it.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
it's enjoyable.
Vin, if you have any more Shirley Temple stories, this is a very appropriate time given her death yesterday.
Yeah, I kind of thought about that in the middle of saying it. It was a sad passing, but I think we all like to drink a little Shirley Temple ourselves. And
Actually,
by
never
that, I
had
don't mean the drink.
Bob, we lost a legend here this last month.
Yeah,
And
conflicted about it.
Lost him to drugs. Philip Seymour Hoffman.
I'm a fucking idiot.
What's your take?
I was bummed. I was really bummed. I mean, Paul Walker went a few months ago, and obviously it stinks because he's too young to go. I didn't care for any of his movies, and I really wasn't invested emotionally. But with Hoffman, I mean, there's no way you can find a person who didn't respect whatever he brought to every movie he was in, or even television show or commercial. I mean, he was unbelievable.
Totally agree.
In comedies, like I remember Along Came Polly a while back with
I
Ben
didn't think
Stiller.
that was funny at all.
Jesus, I love when I think I have a surefire example to my argument, and Bob just shits all over it. That's that's my favorite
it was
part.
Just so
like last episode of Breaking Bad, I'm really bringing my whole point home, and then I throw it back to Bob. I go, Bob, what do you think about it? I couldn't get into it. So, what noise are you making over there?
Crickets. Those are
crickets. Yeah.
Apparently not very good.
No. No, I loved him in Along Came Polly. Love him in
Lebowski.
They're the little Lebowski urban achievers.
In The Big Lebowski.
Capote was great.
Never saw Capote.
How did you know?
But
Boogie Nights.
Boogie Nights.
Boogie Nights is the funniest scene.
The gay grip or sound guy. Oh my god.
Idiot. I'm just an idiot.
It was incredible. And then most recently with the P.T. Anderson film, The Master.
Oh yeah. Oh my god. He was
right.
Absolutely incredible, and he was incredible in Magnolia.
This is the scene of the movie where you help me out.
He was
that's
incredible
right.
in
Magnolia is really
Although
good
it was
too.
a similar character to Lebowski.
I don't care. See, actors get shit on a lot if they play the same character over and over. But to hell, if it works, it fucking works. I mean, I think in my personal opinion, I think our greatest living actor right now is Daniel Day-Lewis, and he's played the same character a handful of times.
Like what?
Okay, his butcher.
I killed the last honorable man 15 years ago.
Yeah, Bill the Butcher.
His butcher from Gangs of New York
was the guy
is
from,
very similar.
It's almost the same
It's
guy.
almost the same exact guy from There Will Be Blood.
One night I'm going to come to you inside of your house, wherever you're sleeping, and I'm going to cut your throat.
Yeah, which is my favorite movie of all time.
I like Gangs too, but yeah, There Will Be Blood is phenomenal. But both worked. I don't give a shit.
Right.
Reprise your role all you want. If it works, it works.
Right.
And I never saw Lincoln. I don't think I can sit through like a 3.5 hour movie anymore.
It was the worst, but you watch him,
he was
you're like,
great,
wow,
right?
he's great. And then you're like, wow, he's great in this piece of crap.
So, yeah, I was very bummed out about Hoffman. I didn't know. Did you know about his drug problem? See, I didn't know. I don't daily keep up on what celebrities are doing.
Well, it was
I
like
don't
the first.
give
It was
a shit what the Kardashians are up to.
It was like one of
anything.
those things, though. Well, Hoffman and the Kardashians are two totally different.
Well, I just
things.
mean the entertainment world in general.
When I came across a story, it was like, wow. But it also makes a lot of sense.
Well,
it was like 2 years ago I saw an article about him going to rehab for
Well,
heroin.
where one would find a story about Hoffman's drug problems would be the same place you would go to find the Kardashians.
We'll see how I saw it was the only news I get at all is from Google News.
Yeah.
And so it was one of the
because
top
you've cut
3
out
stories.
cable. You don't watch.
Don't watch TV.
television.
Don't watch news. Don't go on news sites. The news, quote unquote news, has nothing to do with your life.
Yeah,
I worked
your
in news
lack
for
of
a long time.
Your lack of TV intake is well documented. So you're on the internet. You get your news through the internet, but entertainment news is entertainment news. A story about Hoffman and rehab is going to be right next to the Kardashian, getting butt implants.
Oh my God, who the hell
So
cares?
I wasn't aware. Bottom line, that's my point. I wasn't aware of his drug problem. So when I see that he died, and then that he died of an overdose, it was a double whammy for me because it was news to me.
Right.
I didn't know he was struggling with these things.
Yeah, I was kind of like, that's what happens.
So big time bummer. But while we're talking about movies, Oscars are right around the corner. Not a big fan.
I love the theory. I hate the realization.
Yeah. Well, this year I've always kind of got really pretty excited for the Oscars. I get up for them because there are generally a lot of movies that I liked throughout the year up for awards, and I like Life of Pi was one of the best movies I thought that came out in a long time, and I'm attached to it because I read the book a long time ago. I never thought in a million years one could make a movie about it, and then they did, and they did such a good job of it, and it was up for a whole bunch of awards, and it borderline did the best of all the movies last year.
Right.
It didn't win Best Picture or
won
Best
Best
Actor or
Director.
anything, but the direct Ang Lee got it, and they won all these below the line awards like special effects and all that stuff. Generally, I have 1 to 5 movies that I'm really proud of being in the Academy Awards. This year, I really don't have a movie. I really liked Wolf of Wall Street, but I haven't seen, and I didn't care to see a lot of the movies that are up for Best Picture this year. So I'm a little bit in your boat this year, but normally I'm pretty geeked up about the Oscars.
Yeah, same here. But also, this is coming as a lifelong Cubs fan. Everybody I want to win never wins.
Yeah,
never.
Yeah.
It's just like, why am I going to watch again? Where like the fact that Ben Affleck won Best Director for Argo is the single biggest, like, what is it about giving that guy an Oscar that is so important to the Academy?
I agree.
I don't get it.
I agree. I'm with you. As geeked up as I usually get over the Academy Awards, who I want to win rarely does win. It's only happened twice. The first time is when Crash won over the gay cowboy movie, Brokeback Mountain.
Yeah.
And I know you hate Crash, so don't talk because you're just going to shit on my point. But I loved Crash, and Brokeback was not a good movie. It just broke a lot of fucking barriers.
Broke a lot of backs.
Exactly. And a movie shouldn't win for that, and I was glad it didn't. And then the second time that happened was when Hurt Locker won over the Blue movie.
Yeah.
Won over Avatar.
Right.
Because Hurt Locker was fantastic.
Yeah.
And as much work and as many years went into Avatar, it was basically an animated movie about blue
Pocahontas.
people. That was it was pretty much a 3.5 hour Fern Gully. I get it. We waste too much. I get it. We're burning the planet. I get it. We're creating a horrible existence for the next. I get it. I didn't need to sit through 3.5 hours of that. So those are the 2 times that were the movie I wanted to win actually won. But usually it does happen, like you say.
I was like that with Lord of the Rings. When they just gave him every award.
There's some good in this world, Mr. Ferrell.
Are you not a Lord of the Rings guy?
Oh, no, I was. And it was one of those things where I never, ever read the books. So the first movie was somebody who explained everything to me. So I had decent knowledge as we're going through it, and I'm like, this is great. And then the second one was one of the best experiences I ever had in the movie theaters, where it was like I was way inebriated.
Yeah.
And in the middle of it, where there's a huge battle going on, and they're in like the big tower, and the enemy comes up, and they start throwing ladders up.
Yeah.
I stood out of my seat and went, no! Like, I was so scared.
What do you mean?
It was just awesome.
What do you mean by inebriated? You were super high?
Yeah, I
or
might have. I was medicated. Got
it.
I was super medicated.
Well, do you ever go to a movie not high?
What's the point?
Yeah, okay, so is there a need to even mention that you're inebriated in a movie?
I just want to remind people.
Okay, a little reminder won't hurt.
I will say this. Sometimes it's not the best idea, because I thought Hotel Rwanda was the funniest movie I've ever seen in my life. And apparently I was alone.
Well, yeah, I mean, we do have that. There is a little bit of history this year with the Academy Awards. We actually do have a comedy movie up for Best Picture.
Which
in
one?
12
Blue
years,
Jasmine, right?
12 Years a Slave. Unacceptable! I joke. I didn't even see it. I don't want to see it. I don't need 2 hours reminder of how poorly we treated the blacks back 60 years ago.
You're Cuban and Mexican.
We as in Americans.
Gotcha.
Well, that's my whole point. We're so far removed from that generation. Right. Can we move past it? I don't need to see people getting lashed and thrown in whatever.
Just like I've had it with Holocaust movies. Like, I get it. This was terrible.
Thank you. As a Jew, to say that, thank you very much. And if I can reach you, I'd shake your hand right now, because I'm in the same boat. So we have the Oscars coming up. We're actually going to do a special Academy Awards episode that week. You guys can look forward to that. But we're done. Episode 4.
That was it. Another
Thank
great
you for
episode
visiting,
for
Bobby Kesselman.
I couldn't have had a better time.
Always a pleasure. We always love having Vin Scully in studio.
Oh boy, I'll tell you one more thing. I'm going to get me some, you pussies.
Now, you know what? You guys, everyone should probably hang out with Vin. Apparently, he has all the good times here in LA.
I'll be at Dominic's Thursday, 9 to 11, every Thursday.
I didn't know they had an open mic at Dominic's. So thanks again, everybody. You can find us on our Facebook page, Toke In LA. Just search Toke In LA, 3 separate words. And you know what? I kind of messed up making the Facebook page, because if you just search Toke In LA, it doesn't come up. You actually have to put the periods after LA. And it'll come up right then, but it's a little extra step. We'll work on that. Website still in the works. Also visit our YouTube page. We're going to be posting videos of each episode on there. And again, keep visiting the page. Keep tuning in. We just want you guys to be entertained. We love doing this. And all we can ask is that you join us for next time. So thanks again, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
You want to do the man dance? First dance is yours.
Nice boy, but doesn't listen to a word you say.
I'm smart. Not like everybody says.
What in God's holy name are you blathering about?
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy!